Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single weekday, we're coming at you live from our studio in Las Vegas, Nevada. On today's show, we're discussing is Bitcoin heading to 20K as it is currently heading back up to 27K. But are things in turmoil? Will we see a 20K Bitcoin this year? We're going to discuss that. Also, we have news regarding Binance.us. Good news if you are a USD trader. If you use USD, we know they cut those off about a couple months ago, but there's a new partnership that's bringing those on-ramps back. We're discussing that and much, much more. But first, here is your other host, Rob.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Wow.
Is it your first time checking us out? If it is.
It is.
This is the entertainment capital of the world in Las Vegas and also the entertainment capital of
Crypto.
Crypto YouTube.
Yes.
We bring the heat, bro.
The heat. It is. It's not as hot as it was a month ago.
I noticed you just call him Rob, not Big Rob. Why is
Thank you for noticing that, Rocco.
Yeah. Why is that?
It is your boy, Big Rob, back in
Personal
the house. We take old, boring, and stale information and repackage it up just like this co-host here of mine. And
Wow.
But it's
No, Bitcoin's not at 30K. It's at 26,000.
Bitcoin is moving though. I checked
It
it
is
this
moving.
morning and it was at 26.5.
Oh, my God.
It's moving.
Guys, Bitcoin's moving.
Put your seatbelt on.
Put your seat.
There you go.
All right. Before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to channel sponsor Cam's Blue Wire Technology. Today's 4K stream is brought to you by them. If you run a business and you want to maximize your cybersecurity, your networking, and your IT, and you just don't have the time to deal with it yourself, there's a company that's going to help you, and that is Cam's Blue Wire Tech. Visit bluewiretech.com or simply click the link in the description of this video. Speaking of videos, I don't really have anything to set this one up. It's just funny, Rocco. Oh, man. No comment. We have a...
Like, how did they get there? That's what I want to know. Like,
okay, so let's analyze this picture here. Obviously, they're at like a restaurant, right?
okay, there's definitely drinking involved. That's how they got
100%,
there.
obviously,
okay,
right?
Yeah,
Right,
I
here
see.
we go.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's how it happened. Okay.
Okay, and then what is this? Is this a? I can't zoom in. It won't let me zoom in. Okay. Anyways, Grandpa, maybe put some more Fix-It-In on your teeth. Now, there's a new spaghetti carbonara.
Now
Never
I was about
text-
to say something in Italian, very.
Carbonana.
Back off. Bye.
Never
Nah,
text
don't
me
let
again.
me say this stuff. Don't
Never
let
text
do
me
it.
again, Robin.
Don't even let me start.
Okay, do not let Rocco start, he said. We're not going to let you start. We're going to let you finish. Rocco?
Jeez.
So as a former cigarette smoker, this really hit home for me. Google, do cigarettes expire? No, cigarettes don't expire, but the person smoking them does. So public service announcement, guys. If you smoke cigarettes, Rocco, this is health
Doesn't
advisement
matter.
here, okay?
Yeah, but the
If you
person
smoke
is
cigarettes,
fine.
guys, get out of here. Just quit, okay? Go with the nicotine only. That's what the top G says, at least. Guys, and then let's talk about family. How confident are you in this Bitcoin thing? And well, here's a visual representation of how confident I am in Bitcoin, no matter what the price is, unless I'm sounding like a Bitcoin maxi here. But, Robin, is there one thing that can really shake your confidence in Bitcoin? One thing that you can maybe point to? Is it maybe Satoshi's identified, funds moved from his wallet, a hack? Is there anything, or why you got a smirk on your face? Serious question.
I'm just looking at
Rocco?
memes over here.
Oh,
But do you want to see what I'm looking at?
I do want to see what you're looking at.
All right, so
What are you looking at?
here's it go. We're good. Why is this in our bathroom? It's a menstruation crustacean station. Please move out.
Menstruation crustacean station. Oh, God. Okay, that was pretty good. Think we'll find those in the men's bathroom now, too?
What would you do if you came home to this? Like,
If I came home to this, well, why are you blowing my money on lobsters? Anyways.
Why the lobster has an apron with a bow tie?
You know,
It's a proper lobster because it's a crustacean lobster station menstruation. Anyways, out of menstruation and into Bitcoin. Robin, my question: do you even remember it anymore?
Confidence in Bitcoin.
Is there
yes.
one thing
I have
that
plenty
can-
of confidence in it.
No, is there one thing that can shake that
There's
confidence?
nothing. There's
Nothing?
There's nothing. Yes, the network gets compromised. The SHA 256 they figure out a faster way of solving it. But realistically, none of that's really on the table.
Okay.
It's pretty self-evident that Bitcoin is going to be here for eternity. The only thing, I guess, would be if the miners voted on something stupid, but that's not going to happen. They're not going to take any risk. The business model works perfectly fine. Why change it? And so
What if Satoshi's wallet? starts
it
to
doesn't even
become
matter.
active?
All that is just a surplus of liquidity. How many tokens are
1
in there?
million Bitcoin,
Yeah.
not dollars.
I mean,
coins.
here at some point we're going to add a million Bitcoin anyways, right?
True, but now the allure of we don't know who created it. He's not here anymore. You can't manipulate it.
It doesn't change the protocol at base level. Even Satoshi, if the real Satoshi did stand up, then at that point he can't change it. It's still controlled by the miners, so it doesn't even matter. So even if that was the thing, I'm sure it would cause price shock because people are like, 1 million tokens are going to hit exchanges or whatever. But it would have an impact, but it's not going to take down Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not going to go anywhere.
Okay. What does the chat think? Guys, is there anything that would make you lose confidence in Bitcoin or the network? Throw it in the chat. If there's any good ones, we'll mention them on the stream. Moving on, some serious news, and this is completely messed up. So we have a series of tweets that came out from Watcher Guru. The first one here, U.S. government arrests Tornado Cash developers Roman Storm and Roman Semenov. But that is not the worst thing, guys. The U.S. government also charged the founders with laundering $1 billion and violating sanctions. So
They didn't launder anything, though. They made a protocol.
that's what I'm saying. Go ahead. How BS is this, right? So the person who created the Colt 45 or the gun should be charged for all the gun murders that happened, right? Or the Ford, all the Ford accidents that caused people to perish or caused harm to the insurance companies. Ford should pay for that, right? It just makes absolutely no sense. You create a piece of code, and if people decide to use it for nefarious reasons, how is that going to come back on me? How is that my fault? You know what this is going to do? This is going to cause people to take a second look, to stop and say, is it worth it for me to create something or to create a piece of code or to create to invent something? Because if I'm going to be held liable for people using my product for something it was not meant to be used for, why would I take that risk if I can get thrown in jail and get charged with money laundering? Right?
Yeah, and here's the thing. What if you create a program that you didn't even realize was going to break the law? Let's just hypothetically say maybe they just thought that, hey, I just want a little privacy, right? And I just want to transact my crypto without people seeing what I'm doing. And maybe under the full intent or their idea or their roadmap was to create a product that does X, Y, and Z, and they don't even think about A, B, and C being used for nefarious reasons, right? And so imagine just trying to create a product that you think would help the world out, and somebody uses it for something else, and then next thing you know, you're in jail. It's kind of like Napster. Remember Napster?
Yeah, yeah.
Napster was kind of the same thing. It was like, hey, Napster will let this computer talk to this computer, and then you can share files. Like, that's a cool idea, right? That sounds very beneficial because before Napster, you had to upload it to a website.
That was the original utility for Napster?
Yeah.
Just to move files and then music,
That's
just
all
people
it
started
was.
using
It's
it?
all it was I can move files. So
I did not know that.
before Napster, I'm sure there might have been some other ones, but Napster was the popular one. But before Napster, you would have to put it on a hard drive or you'd have to upload it to a website. And then they would have to download it from the website, or you'd have to give them a hard drive or your floppy disk or whatever they were using then. But And then Napster came along and you're like, hey, you can share files. And the next thing you know, hey, I burned the CD, put it on my computer. Now I can share it with other people too. And that's how that became. And so Napster got in trouble. They got sued. They got sued by all kinds of people. And it wasn't even that wasn't even what they were trying to do. Like maybe they were, but it wasn't the business model at first. Maybe it was Trojan horse. Maybe they were like, all right, we want to share CDs. But I don't think so. I think at its core, they were just trying to create something, a unique product that let people transmit data. And that's you could make the same argument for Tornado Cash. Now, it's pretty obvious what it was intended for.
Privacy, right?
It's a Tumblr service to mix it. But at the same time, doesn't mean it was for illegal activity.
Yeah, but where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? How do you prove intent, right? I can sit here and say,
Okay, here's a thought experiment. Let's just say we got our community together, right? And we said, look, we're going to all meet up at Caesar's Palace and convention space or something, right? And so let's say 1,000 people show up. And we all just randomly throw money into a bucket. And then we pull out the same amount of money when we leave. So everybody leaves with the same amount of money. So everybody walks in. I throw $200 in this big pot. We shuffle the money around. And then I take $200 and I leave. That isn't illegal, right? But now if somebody had hit the bank and had marked notes, threw it in there, and then we all ended up pulling money out, would the person that organized this be in trouble? Or were they just like having an idea like, hey, we can break up your $100 bills and you can now break change and get 420s and 45s. And, as stupid as that sounds, I'm sure there are some use cases in real life if there was no internet, for example, that would be beneficial. And here's the same thing. There are some use cases that could be beneficial to have a Tumblr service to mix up cash. That's not illegal. And I know Vitalik is one example where he wanted to send money to Ukraine and didn't want people to trace his address. And I mean, that makes sense.
my worry, guys, is, okay, if you make the argument to me that how do you know it wasn't created for that? Okay, if you convince me that, okay, it probably was created to maybe not launder money, but to mix money around so people don't know whether, whatever the case may be.
That's definitely why it was
The
created.
privacy
Okay.
is actually one of the major things.
Okay, but where do you draw the line, right? What about the next piece of code that comes out? That's what about Monero? Privacy token, right?
They've been trying to shut that down too.
Okay, they shut that down. Then what's next after that? What I'm saying is you start towing that line, and then guess what? You give that power to the bureaucrats in the government and the people that want the power and control. And where do they take it? What's next? That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that's why it should be as black as white as possible. The less gray area, the better. And when you sanction a piece of code, whatever it was created for and whatever it ended up being, and then you take the founders, I don't think it's a good look, man. I really don't. Also, you talked about Napster. Napster rebranded. You know who's now is the new Napster, right? That is none other than Joe Biden. I want to give a shout out to Knox Bill for that. That was pretty funny. Joe Biden is the new Napster. Guys, what do you think?
Can we get some?
If you do that, Rocco, you're doing that to Knox Bill. I want you to know that. Thank you.
I will never do that to him.
You see what I
I can
did
do it
there?
to you.
See what I did there? Life hack. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree? What are your thoughts on Tornado Cash? Are we walking a line that we don't want to walk? Is something else going to be next? Are you guys worried? Let us know in the chat. What's not worrying is Solana's uptime. We have this tweet from A-Low at alpha_PLS. 6 months of flawless uptime for Solana whilst doing 4,000 transactions per second, sometimes a lot more. There's no doubt the chain upgrades have made a huge difference. Got to remember, guys, Fire Dancer is also on the way, or is here. Everyone can see that over the last 6 months, L2s have struggled a lot more with outages and uptime. This isn't a dig as those chains, just the truth. They are also in the early days of their life cycle. I think what Solana has achieved from an engineering point of view deserves a lot of respect. And as someone who uses Ethereum and L2s a lot, I'm very glad there is another change that exists which expands the possible use cases for blockchain technology. And you can see here Solana's uptime on the bottom left and the bottom right. And then here are the transactions per second, holding steady around 4,000 transactions per second. Now, Solana also did just announce a partnership. Damn it. Who was it with?
I heard they shut their phones down.
No. They dropped the price of their phones. Unless something new came out that I didn't see, but no. Damn it. Who did they just partner with? Was it a stable coin or something? Either way, Solana's making moves and partnerships. We know the Solana, something pay on the Solana phone. Anyways, it's going to come to me randomly and I'll have to interject. But Robin, Solana, and including us on the show, what we gave Solana a lot of crap about is A, they're not as decentralized, and B, the network issues. You can't have major outages consistently happening, which was happening. Is this safe to say now? Are you comfortable saying that's all behind Solana and moving forward, that is a worry that you're putting to the side? Is this enough data for you to be like, okay, not worried about the network going down anymore?
I'm still worried. Here's the thing. We're in the middle of a bear market. Transaction volume is going to slide. And I think that I'm curious to see what Solana's uptime will look like in the coming bull market. When you 100x transactions. Because remember, this 4,000 transactions, I'm not sitting here saying that they're just going to have 100,000 transactions just every single day, every hour. But remember, when you do get compromises in a network, it's usually when there's a big event happening, like a NFT mint or there's a DDoS attack, or there's something going on where you go all of a sudden, say from 4,000 transactions to 1 million for whatever reason. And then from that point, I don't know. I think I'm just curious to see, because right now there's no big projects minting. There's not 100,000 transactions for a newly minted NFT project, right?
So you're saying it's too early because we're in a bear market.
It's just not enough volume. There's not enough transactions. There's not enough volatility. There's not enough movement behind.
There it is. Shopify.
What happened?
Solana Pay integrates plugin with Shopify for USDC payments. I mean, they're making partnerships, they're making moves, their UI, UX is pretty friendly. They're trying to break the barrier to entry down for new people to come into Web3 from Web2. They're making it more practical. The ChatGPT plugin, you got the dApps, the phone, you got the NFT ecosystem, I got it up here. I'll just kind of share this now.
Yeah, they dropped the price of the phone down to $599 from $1,000.
Yeah.
You gonna buy one or what?
We're supposed to buy one. We said we were going to buy one. We just have to spend money on other things in the studio.
That's right.
Then you have this. Maple seeks first mover status on Solana. And so Maple Finance returned to Solana on Monday as it seeks to be a first mover by offering on-chain treasury bill yields on the network. So we know this is a massive market. Maple's 15 lending pools have facilitated more than $2 billion in corporate loans since the company launched in May of 2021. This is a quote from Maple. Maple's return to Solana signifies a strategic choice that goes beyond mere business considerations. Builders continue to launch new Solana protocols and investors continue to back them. As Solana continues to expand and attract new protocols, there is a growing need for products that can generate low-risk yield opportunities for stablecoins. So we know this is a $27 trillion market, right? The treasuries market, U.S. treasuries market. And I'm not saying all of it's going to Solana. I'm just saying Solana keeps making news, man. Partnerships. It's cheap. It's fast.
I'm liking
Does it have
Solana.
issues? Of course.
I think Solana will have, as long as we mentioned, they don't have any outages. If that is resolved, going into the next bull market with the partnerships, the venture capital backing, and I don't know, they just caught a lot of traction in the last bull market, and I don't know. A lot of people. There's a big community, man, and the community is not only just the average retail and the degen, but it's also institutions. I could see a situation where all of a sudden there's the NASDAQ has some exposure. Maybe it's an ETF. Maybe it's a futures. I don't know. But I can it just seems like the powerful people that run the economy, the free market, I guess, that side of the economy, they seem to be supportive of Solana. And for that reason, I think they have a leg up on the competition. And if they stay, they don't go down, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be one of the biggest. It's going to be one of the biggest plays for next bull market.
You think it takes out its old all-time high?
Oh, yeah.
$50.
I think if Solana does not have any downtime or any like bridge exploits or anything weird, there's no drainage. If they just keep building, it doesn't shut down, and they don't lose a bunch of liquidity or private keys or do something stupid, they're gonna surpass the next their previous all-time high, which was like 280 or something,
$260. Just taking a look at their emissions, 7.7%. Still a little high, but not as high as we've seen in stuff like Avalanche, which is close to 25%. You have a decent total supply. Well, it doesn't have the max on it. I think the max is like 300 million. Let me go on here and just check real quick. So kind of doing this. And these are, and you know, I said this on Frankie's show yesterday, which, by the way, big shout out to Frankie Candles. Dude is amazing, guys. If you don't watch him, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please go do so. The guy is extremely smart. Love what he's doing in the space. Okay, so 555 million total supply. You're taking a look at 407 million already circulating, and so that puts us at a ratio of about 74%. We like to be over 80. That's what we like to kind of hang our hat on, 80%. And then I could argue, you know, the majority of the big emission cliff here has already happened. Now, there's still more, obviously more Solana to be entered into the market. But as you can see here, majority of that is going to be inflation. But where is that going? That's what I'm curious on. Where is that inflation going? Anyways, we know founders, if I do this. So here we go. We know the founders. We know they get it's steady up and to the right. Then it starts to tail off right around. Oh, this is today. Hold on. What is going on here? Okay, here we go. All right. So we know founders and anyone essentially that is going to dump. It's all an even, right? It's not going up. It's not going to get bigger. The only thing that's going to get bigger is going to be the inflation, right? Because that's kind of on an uptrend. So those are things to keep in mind when you're planning on investing in a token long term. You do want to see their inflation schedule. Solana, 7.7%. Is that something that you're comfortable with, Robin, in terms of looking at the fundamentals of the token?
Yeah, I think the tokenomics of Solana have always been solid. I don't think they're the best, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, you can. The only gripe on tokenomics is that venture capital holds a lot of early pre-sale at like sub $1, and so at some point those are gonna hit. You know, those are gonna go out for sale, but
Rob, if they didn't sell at 250 or on the way down from 250
Here's
to
the
200 to 150 to 100, how do you make the argument that, it hits $100, they're going to just sell it? Unless those tokens were not available.
You remember when we had Yesko on and he was talking about venture capital and investing in altcoins, and he's saying that like he said even a small liquidating a small position that you have is extremely difficult. You know, if you're sitting on a token sale where you got in at a fraction, you know, less than 1% of the price, like it's going to be so hard for you to unload those without crushing the order books. And then you don't want to cause mass hysteria by selling. And so you got to find that balance. So
Alex brought up an interesting point. It's on this TV screen there, Rob. Solana going down 1 or 2 times a year is still better than not being able to sell a token on ETH during a dump because of the insane gas fees. What do you say to that?
No, because that's expected, right? Ethereum gas fees are expected. You know that it's high traffic.
Yeah, but
like,
you're still not going
to... It's like driving down in LA, right? Hey, I know I got to go to work. I'm going to be stuck in traffic for an hour. What's not okay is that the freeway's closed and they don't tell nobody. Like, you know what I mean? You could be like, well, I mean, we were going to be stuck anyways. Like, it's better to be stuck in, it's better to shut it down periodically, just at random.
It's a good analogy, actually. Okay. But Alex,
Speaking of traffic, Las Vegas is jacked
Oh
up
my
for the
God.
Formula One, bro.
traffic cones everywhere. That is a state mascot, by the way.
We have we have Formula One coming. They're going to use the streets of Las
I have
Vegas.
never seen them.
So bad.
I have never seen them shut off the strip and repave the road ever. And I've been here for over 20 years.
Dude, it's so bad. Did you see they on a side note, they're building temporary bridges. Did you see this?
No.
They're physically built. They're temporary bridges that go over Las
strip?
Vegas Boulevard. Yeah.
How do you build a temporary bridge?
I watch that. I drive by it every day. It's literally just like scaffolding, and then they paved a road. And then yesterday, I was driving here, and I saw them testing it out. They just had like a big ass bus just driving back and forth on it,
That's weird.
making sure it didn't collapse.
Yeah, driving in Vegas right now.
And
is a
anyways,
complete
so they built it in a little lot, and then right before, like a week before the race, they're gonna move it and assemble it over the track. Anyways, if you come to Las Vegas, for the love of God, don't drive on the east side of town.
Just don't drive Uber. Now, I do want to share this tweet from Jack Mullers. So this was Dave Portnoy, the founder of Barstool Sports. So you heard what happened. He sold a piece of the equity to, I forget the name of the company, and then he essentially got it back for free. So he's fully control of Barstool, and this is what he had to say about Bitcoin. Listen.
Well, you personally have Bitcoin. Let's get some Bitcoin. Well, you personally have Bitcoin. Let's get some Bitcoin on the balance sheet for Barstool.
That's like I said, I literally tried to convince Jay to do it back in the day. It was then I couldn't. I could see us definitely having Bitcoin on the balance sheet in the future.
Well, you personally have Bitcoin.
I can definitely see us having Bitcoin on the balance sheet. You think we're going to see more and more of this, Robin, as things start to continue to disintegrate here in the U.S. in terms of our economy, as in terms of U.S. debt and the treasuries market and the U.S. dollar?
I think when it comes to institutions and balance sheets, I think it's not going to be so much people losing faith in the dollar, but I think it's going to be more people just like, hey, this is just a good ass investment, right? I mean, for me, I would rather invest in Bitcoin, not because I think the dollar's trash, which it is, but more so I think it's just simply, hey, I know where the price of this is going to go. And if I get exposure of right now, I'm set. And I think that institutions are going to look at it the same way. They're like, hey, we can buy Bitcoin at $25,000. Does anybody disagree it'll reach 100 within the next 10 years? I don't think there's many hands that would pop up in the room. And so as long as you're okay having an illiquid asset that could be down 6 months from now, I don't want to say illiquid, but an asset that with price volatility could be down to as low as 60% off of your purchase price. That's a reality, right? Yeah. But
possibility. I don't think it's probable, but possible.
Yeah, but it could happen. You never know. In an institutional perspective, you got to take that into account. You got to say, hey, even though like we all believe it won't go under 16,000 anymore, you got to sit there and be like, it could go under 16,000. Like if you have thousands of people's money in a company at stake, and you got employees and their families and their kids, then you have to look at it that way. But I think there's very little argument that over the course of 10 years, you won't at least see a 4x return on it. So,
yeah, I 100% agree. All right, guys, let's move on to our market segment. But before we do, today's market segment is brought to you by channel sponsor iTrust Capital. If you want to enjoy some crypto gains tax-free in retirement, there is one company to go with, and that is iTrust Capital. Set up a Roth IRA account. What that means is you'll put in your dollars after you've already paid taxes on them, but you will not pay taxes when you pull it out. So ask yourself this question. You think taxes will be higher or lower in the future when you're ready to retire? Chances are they're probably going to be higher, especially with the shitstorm economy that we're in. So if you use iTrust Capital, use the link in the description of this video. You will receive a free $100 once you fund your account and enjoy your crypto gains tax-free. Robin, markets, go.
Sure. So Bitcoin coming in at 26,500 basically. Nice little rally today. I know it's not much, but it is a reversal, right? And we've been talking about this $25,000 mark. I know some people are throwing 24.8, some people are throwing out 25.4. Either way, we're not going that direction. We're going the other way. So and you can see here, I mean, right? This is pretty significant. I mean, we went 6 days essentially without being able to be at this price.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel good. Is it short lived? Perhaps. I don't know.
A lot of people are saying that's a reverse Bart Simpson, which should mean it should break to the upside.
So taking a look, and somebody in the comments yesterday made fun of my my charting. They said I need to step it up.
Unacceptable.
Actually, I think it was Redman.
Then it is acceptable.
So we got Sweet, A-Star, and DYDX all up over 10%. So we're seeing some big movement in the alt sector. There's a lot of tokens up 5%. So probably a good day to put some entry positions on some trades. I do think that even with this 5%, we do have remember, we have a pretty big gap. We went all the way from 29,000 on Bitcoin down to 26. So if this breakout continues, who knows what kind of gains these altcoins are going to get. But there is 1% down on Monero. Other than that, everything else is holding strong, man. So good day in the markets today, brother.
Yeah. What is that up? 2.75%? Wow. Huge. I said this on Frankie's channel yesterday. I think for the rest of the year, we're going to be between 20 and 30K. And then we'll really start to see Bitcoin really start making some moves up early next year beginning. And so that's kind of my thesis. But I do want to share. What do I want to share? I'm going to share this right here. So this is kind of intriguing. This is from Material Indicators. The Twitter handle is MI_algos. At this stage, it feels like a game of chicken to see who is going to make a move to break the chop. Talking about bears and bulls. I zoomed out to 6-month view of the order book liquidity in FIRE charts to illustrate how Bitcoin price tends to react to larger concentrations of liquidity and to show how little liquidity has been strategically positioned to defend from printing a lower low. The market is waiting to see if more bid or more ask liquidity is going to be attracted to the range. So far, we are seeing small amounts of bid liquidity ladder up from 20K closer to the active trading zone, but no liquidity of any size has been stacked into the range, defending price from a lower low. Needless to say, printing a lower low in this time frame has macro implications. Printing two lower lows would push Bitcoin down to sub 20K. This is the chart he shared from FIRE charts. And so this one shows the $71 million buy wall right at $25,000 to $26,000. If we do break that, the liquidity is moving up. But as he mentioned, once we break this 24K, there's like nothing. There's almost nothing till we get to 20K. And so the title of today's show was, is Bitcoin going to 20K? Rob, does this worry you that the lack of liquidity, the lack of buy orders coming in at such a massive range between 20 and 24K, essentially saying if we make another lower low, we're probably going down to 20?
I'm just mesmerized by this chart. It's so cool looking, bro.
I try to sign up. It's like $150 a month.
Yeah.
Charts, yeah.
It looks like one of those like global warming charts that the meteorologists are always putting up. They're like the water temperature. It's only went up like a 0.1% Celsius. You're like, stop,
dude. So apparently, okay, that's too off topic. I'm gonna throw you off. Okay, what are your thoughts on what I just said?
So losing 25 and
we make another lower low.
Yeah,
there's liquidity.
I think it's on the table, man. I would lean more to we are going to bounce off of 25,000 where we're at now. Perhaps maybe this is a consolidation zone. I think that everyone's kind of waiting for the breakout here, I think that we traded at 29,000. We pull back to 25. This is short-lived before this is a stop, right? This is either stop before we get down to 20,000 or it's just a little retracement before we shoot up. But has anybody really thought about the fact that, like, could we just hang out and trade at 25,000? Maybe this is the new 2-month channel.
I know it's boring, guys, but it's just.
What do you think? Because everyone's assumption,
I think,
is that it went from 29 to 25, and that's a stop, right? It's a stop before it gets to 20, or it's just slingshotting back. It's just a pullback before it hits 30.
I think due to the lack of market makers compared to what we had a year ago, the lack of liquidity compared to what we had a year ago, I think any small piece of news that would normally move the price maybe 3, 4, or 5% has the potential to move it 15, 20, 25%, which is kind of what we saw happen when Bitcoin crashed from 29 to 26, 25, 26K. So that's my thesis. But, who knows? Liquidity might start showing up. We might start seeing more. But we are seeing, and I got it pulled up here real quick, and then we'll give some love to the chat. But over the last 24 hours, there's been a total of almost 5,000 Bitcoin that has left exchanges. If we go out to the 7-day, close to 15,000 Bitcoin has left exchanges. So that is not helping liquidity, which of course, guys, depending on where demand comes in, right? Demand comes in on the buy side or the bid side or the ask side. That's what's going to move the price. And if the liquidity is low, well, it takes a little less to move the price a lot more. And so that's my thesis.
Right. So just a little love to the chat here real quick. We do have Ilapeta, Crypto Surfer, Hotel J, Glenn, New Crypto, JR, and George Felix Skyseam. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, JR says, we have a $5 super chat. Thoughts on stopping DCA 12/31/2023 to hodl for a year and start taking profits between up to 2024 for tax purposes. I would say this: if you're looking to avoid taxes, just hold it. You hold it for at least a year, okay? Because that's gonna significantly improve your capital gains taxes. So if you're in a situation where this is still, I think, kind of swing trading on a longer time horizon. If you're getting in and out in less than 2 years, I wouldn't really consider that the big, the hodl, because you got the hodl long term for retirement, and then you have the hodl like from one cycle to the other. And both of those situations you hold for at least a year. I'll just say that. And yeah,
I don't necessarily think in terms of tax implications, unless I'm in a position at the end of the year where I've made a massive gain or a massive loss, and I look at my taxes as a whole, and hey, could this bring, can I go from owing $3,000 in taxes to getting $3,000 in taxes? If it's swing like that, sure, but I'm not going to ruin my investing plan, because DCA, you're essentially investing, right? You're investing long term. DCA, I'm not gonna sabotage that to try to save some money on taxes. That's just me, though, personally.
And then when it comes to DCAing out, just DCA in when the markets are like they are now, and then when all of a sudden everything is massively overbought, just start DCAing out. When Bitcoin's at 100 grand or 70 grand or whatever it is, start taking profits. Start selling. Start removing from your position. And then, if you start at, like, if I had, let's say I had a big position in Bitcoin and I wanted to and I've been DCAing for the last 3 years, and I wanted to protect my shorter term investment, I would DCA out on the bull market rise. So when it gets to 60,000, I'd start 70, 80, just on the way up. But for Bitcoin in particular, that's more of my altcoin strategy. I'm just giving you a round number because Bitcoin's easy to track when it comes to cycles. I'm not selling my Bitcoin, so that's going to just be in my DCA until who knows when. But
you're in the same camp then.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep I'm just DCAing my Bitcoin. I got my account, and that's it. That's set aside. I'm not messing around with anything else. Mm-hmm. But for my altcoins, that's how I go about it. DCA in, and then the way out,
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys, let's move on to some news. So remember the OpenSea guy that was being investigated and for insider trading? Well, he's been officially jailed in landmark NFT insider trading case. Nathaniel Chastain, which is a former product manager at OpenSea, has received a 3-month prison sentence for exploiting his role to gain insights into upcoming NFT promotions, which he used for his own financial benefit. Today's sentence should serve as a warning to other corporate insiders and politicians. It's not in there, but it should be in there, that insider trading in any marketplace will not be tolerated, U.S. prosecutors declared. U.S. prosecutors claim that between June and September of 2021, Chastain exploited his access to OpenSea's internal systems. He used information regarding which NFTs will be appearing on OpenSea's homepage. He then secretly purchased dozens of them shortly before they were featured. Does that sound familiar, Robin? Does that sound familiar? Maybe someone who sits on the Armed Forces Committee, who's potentially the chairman, who knows when people are going to come and testify or what laws are going to be passed or what news is going to make the headline and decides to buy or sell that certain stock. And well, 2 days later, oh my God, it went the way you thought it was going to go, make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And these are elected officials who get paid a salary on the taxpayer's dollar. I'm not saying it's right, guys. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying, man, $50K, millions of dollars.
That's the world we live in, bro.
Well,
Rocco, you got something to say?
yeah, I do.
Okay.
If you gotta do it smart. I'm sorry, but that's you gotta be a politician.
That's
the
Italian
way
in
to
him.
do it right. No, I'm just saying. For $50,000, this guy's gonna go 3 months in jail. Why you do that?
What are you saying? You should have done it for like 50 million?
SBF, look at Sam.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be 3 months in jail. You'd be 30 years in
the
jail.
larger the amount, the larger the time, the
This guy
sentence.
is gonna be in vacation. I'm telling you. Even if
Oh
he's
yeah,
jail.
but here's the thing: it's $50,000, and so whatever money he made at 50,000, let's just think about it. I'm sure he had a lot of exposure to NFTs because if he's front running the market with NFTs, his entire portfolio is liquidated. So whatever money he made off of this, even if he had to pay it all back, as per fines or something, it doesn't even matter. Because this dude is probably so far in the hole with the way the NFT market is that this dude he's probably way down. He probably can't afford a lawyer.
Public defender.
He's got AI like representing him.
Bro, AI is legit.
Wow.
I would take AI over an average lawyer.
Over an average lawyer? I can't do it, man.
Like, if I didn't have-
I can't
okay.
trust a code, bro.
Oh,
My
Because
cousin
then
Vino.
at that point, like, you can't really blame anybody. Like, at least you can sit in jail and then you can be like, man, my lawyer screwed me over, man.
You can say the same thing, man,
he said he played golf with the judge. I thought I was good. You can't say anything about
yeah,
the
you
AI.
say, man, my browser.
You go down and AI was your lawyer. They're like, did your lawyer mess up? Like, nah, man, it was a computer, bro. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's an interesting argument you're making there, Robin.
I want to assign. If I go to jail, I'm going to complain and point blame at somebody. I should just point it at myself, but I'm just saying. Should be somebody else's fault.
Robert Vermouth said his NFT losses are more than his criminal fees. Potentially true. Now, let's move on to some good news regarding if you're a Binance.us user. Why'd your rug pull me, Rocco? Binance.us taps MoonPay as banking alternative to regain United States dollar ramps. Binance.us has announced a new partnership with crypto payments firm MoonPay to allow users to buy the US dollar-pegged stablecoin Tether to use on its platform. The new partnership comes in the wake of Binance.us suffering a breakdown with its banking partners, which saw fiat deposits on the exchange halted as of June 9th of this year. We'll go over that tweet in just a second here. While direct bank deposits still remain disabled, the partnership offers users an on-ramp that supports purchases through debit and credit cards along with Apple and Google Pay. So you can't do direct ACH transfers, but you can now buy US dollars with MoonPay. It's pretty good. if you're using the platform, and of course, if that's what the pairs you're trading in. So this is the tweet from Binance.us. Buy USDT on Binance through payment partners like MoonPay, which supports debit and credit card, Apple Pay and Google Pay, and also sell USDT for USD to withdraw via bank transfer. So, got anything? Any commentary on this one, Rob? I think it's pretty straightforward. But obviously, it's not a bad thing that they found an on and off ramp partner essentially.
These exchanges are gonna find ways for you to buy and sell, right? Because without that, they're pretty much useless, right? So as an exchange, your business model is, hey, bring us your money and we'll give you crypto. And if you can't bring them your money, then what service are you providing? And I understand that you can say, hey, I'll onboard over here, and then I'll take that, and I'll transfer it over, and then I can buy with Ethereum or Bitcoin, or I can switch it into some other trading pair. Nobody wants to do that. And so onboard, offboard, and your stable coins, those are the liquidity, the lifeblood of the exchange. So if you threaten that, they will find a way. Otherwise, they just close up shop. And I don't think Binance really is interested in that.
I agree. I don't have anything else to add to that. All right, let's talk about. Okay, let's talk about this one right here. Citadel-backed crypto exchange EDX selects Anchorage Digital as custodial partner. So this is from the Bitcoinist EDX Markets, which, remember, guys, is a crypto exchange backed by leading financial institutions, including Charles Schwab, Citadel, and there's another big one. I want to say Fidelity. Has partnered with the digital asset platform and infrastructure provider Anchorage Digital to strengthen its clearing and custody capabilities. This is a quote from Jamil Nazarali, which is the CEO of EDX. He said, quote, EDX is committed to bringing the best traditional finance market structures to the digital asset ecosystem, and this is the latest step in our journey to promote a safer crypto marketplace. Anchorage Digital has a robust security, governance, risk, and compliance framework, which will provide a best-in-class solution to meet the needs of our institutional client base. As the only federally chartered crypto bank in the U.S., Anchorage Digital Bank is the ideal partner to support EDX's build of a robust and compliant clearinghouse business. Interesting that they said clearinghouse business. If you remember, guys, that word has been thrown in every single lawsuit and Wells notice that the SEC has given to cryptocurrency exchanges like Coinbase, like Binance, like Kraken, and Gemini. Very interesting. I saw that. I thought that was kind of intriguing. Rob, I guess my question to you here is, they didn't go with your like a BNY Mellon or a TradFi company. They picked a crypto bank, right? We know the issues we've had with Prime Trust and losing custodial keys, and Genesis with Gemini Earn. They were custodying. They lost people's money. So is this a vote of confidence for institutions that the EDX market, which is not a big exchange by any means, but it's got big names behind it, big trusted names that have been in business for decades. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. Am I wrong for saying that it's a boring talking point? Like, I don't know. It's not against what we're discussing. I'm just saying that, like, if this is, we're in the middle of a bear market when we're talking about what custodial service an exchange is using, and I think it's just a conviction of where we're at in the market. My personal opinion, does it really matter? I mean, think about it. Does it really matter if they went with Coinbase or they went with someone else, or it's just, it is what it is, man. I mean, I don't know. Does it really matter which bank branches are using different, I guess what would be like the safes? I always go back to the analogy, the Ocean's 11, where they're all the casinos are keeping all their money underground, and there was this one custodial service, and then I think that's kind of the same thing, right? Who really cares? I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to throw shade or
No, no, no,
slight.
it's
I'm
fu-
just, it's just,
And,
it's
and
just surprising
you're
to me,
right.
man.
The quality of news out there, and I spend hours on this, has
know, man.
declined
But
drastically
I think that
over the last month.
I think that speaks of where we're at in the market, though, and I think that's worth the conversation, right? When the headlines for media is the custodial service agent for an exchange that doesn't have a lot of traction is one of the leading headlines. It's really, that's where we're at in the market. And so if you think that all of a sudden Bitcoin's going to rally from 25,000 to 50,000, well, where is that money coming from? Because there's really not much going on in the space. Now, this is all temporary. I think this is the normal ebbs and flows of the market. We're in a bear market. We don't have a lot of volume, but it's just surprising to me that there is no big earth-shaking news, you know?
I mean, we have, and just to show you guys what was pulled. So we have social poker app Poker Go lands on Gala. You have an AI artist that mints its own NFTs. You have State Bank of Pakistan acknowledges XRP's potential. And you have this random guy pulling out his gun for some reason. Binance, MoonPay, this one, crypto market cap to 145 trillion. So, like, this is the news we're seeing at the very bottom of a bear, beginning of a bull market. And so something like that, when it's listed multiple times on a news aggregator, not just from one source, but from multiple sources.
Do you also think that companies are keeping breaking news to themselves until the market kind of comes back, or potential partnerships? And like, let's just say you're Chainlink and you're working a deal to partner with, I don't know, Ford, for example, right? And I know we used Ford earlier. Let's just say, or Tesla. Yeah, let's do Chainlink and Tesla. How about that? That would be pretty big news, right? And let's just say they're getting close to closing out the deal. Do you think that Chainlink, their foundation, would try to expedite that? No, I think they would do the exact opposite. They would just try to take their time, try to work out the deal, try to make sure that everything's buttoned up. I'm sure that there's people at the foundation that are like, hey, man, you know, if this news broke in the middle of a bull market versus right now, just saying. And so maybe that has something to do with it.
Maybe you're right.
Because remember how much breaking news, all these giant partnerships there were during the last bull market?
Yeah.
It was like you had to pick and choose.
Now it's like...
And it's not coincidence, right?
Now you're digging, but can you argue that it might be a good thing?
It is. This is a good thing. If you're in crypto, like, do you want to buy Bitcoin at 100 grand? Do you want to buy Cardano at $7? Do you want to buy Ethereum at 5,000? Do you want to buy BNB at $1,000? Which I don't know why you'd buy it anyways. Do you want to buy Solana at $200? No, you don't. We are in the right spot, bro. Take advantage of this while you can. And the 178 people that are here watching, sweet baby Jesus, you're in the right spot. You're in the right mindset. Right. Just make sure you pull the trigger. Don't just watch this and be like, yeah, I'm in the right spot. But you're not DCAing or buying anything. You're just like, I like Big Rob.
You're just like Master's Lessons, who's here to troll. So there's I'm kind of looking at the chat. But by the way, I want to give a big shout out to all the mods in here. Thank you guys so much for keeping the conversations great, for keeping the conversations flowing, for kicking out stupid people who ruin the flow of the show. So Master's Lessons, I'm not saying he or she's one of these people, but said crypto serves no purpose. Crypto has no reason. It's going to enslave you. I can argue we're currently enslaved in the fiat monetary system.
Yeah. Don't worry. The price of houses will double again in the next 10 years. And hopefully you double your salary within the next 10 years. Otherwise, good luck finding a house.
There was a study that came out of, I think it was Australia. An average home is $500,000.
That's the price here in Vegas. I think if you want a decent house, it's at least 350,000. You want a decent neighborhood, you're at $500,000. Decent size house, 2,000 square feet. And it's not like Vegas is some crazy real estate hub here. This is just our houses of historic. I bought my house for $125,000.
Hey, you sitting good, bruh.
Yeah, man.
What if you sold your house for $350K?
I mean, I'm not selling anything
Come on, bruh.
because then
Just rent. Bro, you can pay your rent for 2 years
got-
up front. Hold on, listen to me. Pay your rent for 2 years up front.
I'm not.
Take
I'm
150
not
grand,
Michael Saylor.
buy
Hold on.
5 Bitcoin. Bro,
Stop.
you're going to be a millionaire,
Everything
my
on
dude.
red. Put everything on zero.
Double zero, actually.
Double zero. Oh, you like
Got a
that?
funny roulette story. I was playing roulette. I was super drunk. I was at South Point Casino. I had a $100 chip, and I went to the roulette table. And you know the first 12, second 12, third 12, and this is a 000 wheel. And so I put my $100 chip between second 12 and third 12, thinking that if it hits that side of the board, I'm gonna win 2-1. So it hit 0 when they spun the thing. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, fuck, man, I just lost my last $100. The guy next to me is jumping up and I was like, dude, oh my God. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, you just hit. I'm like, what do you mean? Dealer starts counting out $1,800, a yellow $1,000 chip, 500, and then 300. It's like, what the hell happened? Come to find out, when you place your chip in the middle of second and third 12, you're betting 000. I did
Yes,
not know that.
exactly. Good.
So,
You are
Never
a-
play roulette.
You
Can
are
I get
an
a
a-hole.
round of applause?
If I ever step up to a roulette table and somebody hits 0 or 00, I'm just gonna. You just want to
Walk
punch him in the
away.
face.
I'm gonna walk
Like, what
away.
team are you on, bro?
but I didn't know I was doing it.
That's what I'm saying. You just naturally just douchey like that, bro. Like you don't.
Naturally do shit.
Okay. I'm just saying,
Why?
you don't walk up to a table and just bet to poop on everybody. You're just like, yo, I got this,
I didn't
bro.
know what I was betting.
You're betting that everybody loses but you.
That's not what I was betting because I didn't know it was
That's
0
what I'm
double
saying,
0.
man. It's very selfish
That's
of
not
you.
what you're saying. You're talking out of 6
I'm
sides of your
saying
big
that
ass
you
mouth.
never bet, right? Against the people.
I wasn't trying to bet against the people. It was an accident.
Just saying.
And accidents happen. Speaking of accidents, I want to accidentally thank Robin. I don't know where that was going, but I do want to give a big thank you to channel sponsor Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business maximize your networking and your cybersecurity, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Guys, go follow us on Twitter. We're at Sin City Crypto 1. We're on a bunch of other social media platforms. You can find everything on our website, sincitycrypto.io.
Also, a big shout out DCF
wasn't
Master
done.
Lessons, Lubach, West
wasn't done.
632 Anxiety, and Brandon Agnew. Hola! Welcome.
Rocco, remember.
Sin City
Rocco, I want you to remember. When did he cut me off? When I was talking about merchandise, right? Think twice next time you back this guy up. Guys, if you go to our website, you will find a link to our merch store, inandoutcrypto.com, where you'll not only find Sin City merch, but other crypto merch as well. And if you're a WHALE member, you do get 10% off. With that being said, speaking of off, we are signing off. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate your time. Please come back tomorrow. Same place, same time. I believe we have Lifer joining us tomorrow. It's going to be a fun show. Until then, peace.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin, it's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the WHALE members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola.
To my bags are flowing over.
Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I?